It was 1967, at the onset of the Six-Day War. The Pentagon sent the USS Liberty from Spain into international waters off the coast of Gaza to monitor the progress of Israel's attack on the Arab states. The Liberty was a lightly armored surveillance vehicle. Only hours after the Liberty arrived, it was spotted by the Israeli army. The IDF sent out recognition planes to identify the ship. They made 8 trips over a period of 3 hours. The Liberty was flying a large U.S. flag and was easily recognizable as an American vessel. Soon more planes came. They were Israeli Mirage 3 fighters, armed with rockets and machine guns as off-duty officers sunbathed on the decks. The fighters opened fire on the defenseless ship with rockets and machine guns. Just a few minutes later, a second wave of planes streaked overhead. A French-built MyStar jet, which not only pelted the ship with gunfire, but also napalm bomblets, coating the deck with flame jelly. By now, the Liberty was on fire, and dozens were wounded and killed, including several top-ranking ship officers. The Liberty's radio team tried to issue a distress call, but discovered the frequencies had been jammed by the Israeli planes, with one of the communication specialists calling it a buzzsaw sound. They finally found an open channel. The Liberty got out the message it was under attack to the USS America, the Sixth Fleet's largest aircraft carrier. 2 F-4s left the carrier to come to the aid of the USS Liberty. When word reached the Pentagon, Defense Secretary Robert McNamara became irate and ordered the jets to return. He said, and I quote, "Tell the Sixth Fleet to get those aircraft back immediately." This was reiterated by Admiral David L. McDonald, the Chief of Naval Operations. Quote, "You get those fucking airplanes back on the deck, and you get them back down." The planes turned around, and the attack on the Liberty continued. Later on, to justify this, the Pentagon would say that the airplanes were told to turn around because they were loaded with nuclear weapons. After the Israeli fighter jets emptied their arsenal of rockets and napalm, 3 Israeli attack boats approached the Liberty. Torpedoes were launched at the crippled ship. One tore a 40-foot wide gash in the hull, flooding the lower compartments and killing more than a dozen American soldiers. As the Liberty listed in the choppy seas, its decks aflame, the crew members dropped life rafts into the water and prepared to scuttle the ship. Given the number of the wounded, this was going to be a dangerous operation. But this would soon prove impossible. The Israeli attack boats started shooting the rafts. It looked like nobody was going to be left alive. After more than 2 hours of unrelenting assault, the Israelis finally halted their attack. Turns out the Soviet Union was monitoring the event, and probably the reason the assault stopped. A Soviet destroyer responded before the U.S. Navy, even though a U.S. submarine on a covert mission was apparently in the area and had monitored the attack. The Soviet ship reached the USS Liberty 6 hours before the USS Davis, where the Soviet ship offered aid, but the USS Liberty declined. Finally, 16 hours after the attack, 2 destroyers reached the Liberty. By that time, 34 U.S. soldiers were dead and 174 injured, many seriously. As the wounded were being evacuated, an officer with the Office of Naval Intelligence instructed the men not to talk about the ordeal with the press. The following morning, Israel launched a surprise invasion of Syria, breaching the new ceasefire agreement and seizing control of the Golan Heights. Within 3 weeks, the Navy put out a 7-page report exonerating Israel, claiming the attack has been an accident, and Israel pulled back as soon as they could, with Defense Secretary Robert McNamara suggesting the whole affair should be forgotten. Quote, "These errors do occur, a view not shared by the survivors of the USS Liberty, the martyred soldiers of a planned war that never happened."
Which has never been broadcast before, was recorded in real time by the Israeli military during the assault. The woman's voice in the background is counting down the seconds. It proves that Israeli commanders knew all along that they were attacking an American ship.
I'm alive from the USS Liberty, and I know the Israelis, this is my opinion, planned the attack on us, and they know it too, and I believe our government knows it too. So